Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, also known as Kelly in Vegas, and I am here with Marco in Vegas, one of my favorite WagerTalk handicappers, Marco D'Angelo. Marco, we're so close to football season, and here I am getting an email talking about baseball. We're doing baseball videos. Why should I still be interested in baseball?
Because it's a very beatable sport. All right, Kelly, baseball is the one sport, if you talk to any bookmaker in town, they fear the sharp action. And one of the reasons is because you don't get as much recreational players betting baseball, so they can't offset all the sharp money that comes in. It leaves them with some liability in baseball season. And, you know, we just love playing baseball. We've had success.
So why is it so beatable in your opinion? I feel like every summer there I am sweating out baseball games going, I wish that I was friends with Marco.
Well, you are friends. What you look at in baseball, to me, it's the purest sport. When you look at it, first off, you don't have to lay a point spread. We all know and we're familiar with the point spreads with football, basketball, and people love that. Some people get nervous with baseball and they shy away from it because they look at it and say, well, okay, I got to lay this price. And they want to take the favorites. I'm going to tell you, you just have to pick the winner. So for the average guy, they're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to take the Yankees over this team and that. If you play all of those big favorites, you're going to get hurt, Kelly. You need to find the value. And it comes down to, you can use sabermetrics or advanced stats, whichever we want to call it. That's been very popular the last decade. You got a lot of people doing that, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, baseball comes down to the guy on the mound facing the guy at the plate, swinging the bat. It's a pure sport. I love it. It's been my first love ever since I got into the handicapping, which goes back to 1980. This will be my 38th year doing this. But, I win at other sports, but this is my true love.
I love it. So you're kind of speaking my language here. So you don't play big favorites in baseball, which is my absolute biggest pet peeve, to try to lay $2 or $3 on a pitcher who goes out after the third inning. And, there's just so many frustrating factors that happen there.
There is, in situation being, I'm not saying never play a big favorite. There will be spots where maybe because, you're in the third game of a series, first two games didn't go well for one team and they over-adjust, the line in the third game, you might find some value. If my numbers say the line should be is sitting at 160, Vegas has it, but my numbers say minus 200, there's too much value there to pass up. I will take a favorite once in a while, but I'm not going to be out there laying 160, 170, 180 all the time because you can't do it. Think about it. At the end of the season, when it's all done, look at the teams with the best record. You're going to have one or two teams that's going to be playing, upper 600 ball. That's going to be a team that's going to win. If you're laying 2-1, on most of those games, Kelly, you got to win 2 out of every 3 games just to break even. And that's, a 6-7 win percentage, and teams just don't do that.
So you just mentioned you've been handicapping baseball since before I was even alive. So winning at baseball is nothing new to you. You're currently the number 2 handicapper at WagerTalk. Last year you were the number 1. I mean, that's great news.
Well, as I said, baseball's always been my bread and butter. When I started into the sport, that's what I was best at. And I win at other sports, but this is just a sport that, I don't think it gets as much attention from the bookmakers because right now, at this time of the year, they're going to be focused on football. During the summer, they're getting out early college football lines. They're doing all the other stuff, season win totals. It's our chance, I feel, to beat the books.
So back in 2010, you did something no other handicapper has ever done. You won 25 baseball games in a row.
It was an incredible summer, and time's ticking away. We'll have a 10-year anniversary on that one in a couple years. But Kelly, it was one of those magical seasons. It just, when I would sit down and look at the card that day, it was like my schedule was in 3D. There would be 1 or 2 teams that would just pop off the page. What I'm the most proud of, Kelly, of during that, the 25 games, I never laid more than 120. That's the part that I'm the most proud of.
I got some math for you. The exact numbers of your 25-game win streak. 16 of the games, they were underdogs. Only 9 favorites. Average lay price, plus 102. In fact, when RJ Bell ran those numbers, he was quoted saying the actual odds of what you did was basically 41.5 million to 1.
If R.J. Bell did the numbers, you know that's got to be gospel because he runs the numbers. I wish he would have ran. I was kind of disappointed when he did that. He never did it. If you bet 100 and then parlayed it on every game, let it ride, what that would have been. Those are always fun numbers, but unfortunately, when 26 game come, he would have been back to zero.
That's how it works, right? So any baseball betting tips for the second half of baseball?
Yeah, the second half of the season, you got to look at things differently because obviously there's going to be teams that are out of it, Kelly, and they're going to start looking to the future. When you get to September 1st call-ups, the rosters will expand. What I'm going to give you a warning on is guys that pitched, young pitchers, rookie pitchers that are having good seasons. Be careful of them in the second half of the season. Now that they've had success, the prices on them are going to inflate. But here's the thing. Part of their success is because nobody had faced them before. So in the second half of the season, especially when you get into the division play, these teams will be seeing that particular pitcher for the third or fourth time. That's when you find out, how good this guy really is once they've seen him a few times. So you've got an advantage going against the pitchers in that situation. Also, when you've got a rookie pitcher in his first year especially, when they play in the minor leagues, their season doesn't go as long as the major league season goes. So they don't log the number of innings that they're going to log in their first season in the big leagues. Some of these guys will get arm fatigue. Another situation where you can look to go against some of these guys later in the season.
All right, how do you handle trades that come in at the trade deadline?
Well, don't overreact at the beginning because a pitcher is a different story, but when you get a positional player, a star player, it's going to change the lineup. You're going to have to adjust what alignment, where you had your hitters going, hitting third, fourth, or fifth. So the first game or two, they're going to be overvalued, in my opinion, because the public's going to say, oh, this team was good and they just got better instantly. That's not the case. And on the flip side to that, when a team trades away a star, so often the public says, okay, well, they just waved the white flag. That team just said, we quit for the season. Management might be thinking that way, but the players, they're still athletes, and they want to go. You'll see so many times these teams, those first couple games after they get rid of a star, they actually play better baseball because they want to show their fan base that they're still trying. And you can find some nice underdog situations. One last stat I will give you for trade deadlines when pitchers get traded. If you get a pitcher that changes leagues, he's pitched his whole career in the National or American League, and now he's going to the other league, I like that situation because it's almost like being a rookie. They don't see him as much other than in interleague play, so he has an advantage first time around through the league.
So one of my biggest beefs in baseball is eighth inning, I'm up a couple runs, and then they bring in some kid I've never heard of from the minor leagues in the bullpen, and I'm going, please just get 6 strikeouts, right? And it never happens. I always seem to lose those. So the Joe Public answer is, well, then just bet the first 5 innings when the star pitcher's in. Do you like to bet first 5 innings?
I've used first 5 innings more and more because what we've seen, the change of managers, they've almost become robots. They're only letting their starters go 6 or 7 innings, where back whenever, you weren't even born yet, they let pitchers pitch until their arm fell off. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nolan Ryan would just laugh at these guys when they talk about pitch counts and innings logged. He would stay out there. If you went out to get him, you better bring somebody with you. He didn't want to come out of a game. But now they go automatically. You got your 7th inning middle relief guy. Then you got your 8th inning setup guy. And then you got your closer. Well, if your game was handicapped and you felt you had such a big edge with the 2 starting pitchers, now all of a sudden, if a manager is using the formula, you now have 3 other guys that factor in to your handicapping, and one of those guys having an off day can ruin the whole play. So if I find a game where I have a tremendous edge with the starting pitchers, I'll go first 5 rather than the full game, so I don't want to use the bullpen in the equation at all. A lot of times if a team has a good bullpen, but they used all their key guys the night before, but I like the starter today, well then don't take a chance. Use a first 5 inning wager. Now, and I know, and I've had discussions with Brian Leonard, who's having a great baseball season. We talk about the difference, with first 5 innings. You're generally going to lay an extra 10 cents when you go the first 5 innings because you're paying for that luxury of starter versus starter. But I say that 10 cents is worth it, and here's why. When you bet a full game side bet, there's only 2 outcomes. You win or you lose. Now you're factoring in a third outcome because you can push the play. It could end, if the other guy rises to the occasion and, pitches out of his mind and you got a 2-2 game going to the 6th inning, well, okay, you didn't win, you didn't lose. Your guy did what you expected him to do, to pitch well. The other guy came up with a good game out of nowhere. You didn't lose that play. So I think it's worth the 10 cents in those instances.
Good stuff from you. Real quick, can you tell our viewers about your special offer that you have going on right now at WagerTalk.com for the rest of the baseball season?
Yes, Kelly. We've had a great baseball season, and we're offering the rest of the season. The normal price is $399. But if you use coupon code MARCO100, you can get $100 off that. Get all of my plays through the World Series for just $299. It's a great deal. Check it out, WagerTalk.com.
I just handed Marco my credit card right across the table. You guys didn't see that. As always, make sure you guys check out all of our other videos on the WagerTalk YouTube page. If you like our videos, give them a thumbs up and be sure to share them with your friends.